a different one. Yeah.
दरबा साहब स्वागत है.
Hari Om, Namaskar.
नमस्कार.
Yeah. Thanks to Vithalji, I must say in the beginning that I have a full PhD on Abraham Maslow's self-actualization and Karma Yoga, and with a special significance to Swadharma Samatva leading to work-life balance leading to the so-called self-actualization. I have a full PhD on that, and I'm glad that you mentioned that. So, but this half an hour is not enough. I have spent 7 years to doing a PhD research in that area. But having said that, another important aspect is the beauty or the feature, the main feature of Sanatana Dharma, as we have discussed several times, is in the choice that it provides, the multiple options that it provides for the sadhakas. And that is the diversity or the multiplicity or the often misunderstood polytheism kind of it is all emanating from the poor understanding and misunderstanding of the interpreters. It is a matter of interpretation, while the Mula Tattva is as it is in the Sanatana Dharma. The subsequent commentaries and based on the intellectual, the so-called intellectual deliberations have led to different commentaries and that much complexity it has added to the body of the knowledge and the understanding. So why am I saying this? Is because when I was deeply studying for this purpose to these particular verses, Shankar Bhashya, a little more keenly when I am going through it, and also the parallel views of Ramanuja, what are the Bhashyakas have said about these particular set of 10 shlokas, and they are open to different interpretations, and I have myself about confused in the while studying, because is it a gradation or a hierarchy, or is it the path and then the choices that Bhagavan seems to be giving? It has to be understood in that perspective. It is when do we give, like for example in Kaun Banega Karotpati, there are multiple options are given. First of all, the moment a question is asked, there are 4 multiple choices are given. Even if the participant, the contestant is not able to answer that and then struggling, then the anchor gives them a couple of other options like a 50-50, phone a friend, or something like that. अगर ये भी नहीं कर सकते हैं तो ये करके आप ट्राई कर सकते हैं, ऐसा पा सकते हैं. I think that's how it gives an adept anchor who is actually helping the contestant and giving him the comfort level and then the ease of approaching and then trying to answer. And very often, so many times, the contestant, even though initially failed to answer at the first instance, tends to get that particular answer. In day-to-day life, we are seeing. Similarly, as it has to be understood from the deeper meaning of the Shankara Bhashya, it is saying that when do you give and why is he giving? Yadi na saknoshi, that's what he is saying. If you are not able to do that, then this particular, अगर ये भी नहीं कर सकते हैं तो ये करो, अगर ये भी नहीं कर सकते हैं तो ये करो, वो करो, like that he is giving. Then when do you give from a difficulty situation to a easier solution? He seems to be providing. That's how one strong interpretation has been given. So when he is talking about jnana, he is not about the Paramatma, Atma jnana and the Shuddha jnana. It is about the general peripheral knowledge, the so-called, that's what I keep saying, so-called intellectual deliberation on a particular concept. People tend to indulge in some kind of dialectics and then, debates and then arguments. So, and unless it is got Anubhava Jnana, and that Anubhava Jnana also has to be 2 ways. One is the Paroksha Jnana, that is from the books and then maybe by Shravana, by listening from some gurus and then some great speakers and things like that. Still it becomes the Paroksha Jnana until you practice it and put it in practice, Abhyasa, and that becomes the practical knowledge, applied science. like even scientific way of understanding also. And that gets you Vijnana and a better understanding once you experience what you have learned. So just by mere reading and then acquiring some information and then the knowledge is not sufficient, and hence you can do that. If you fail to do, because he said klesha adhikatara earlier in the beginning only, he said how difficult it is to get akshara or avyakta and then the nirguna brahmopasana, and hence he is suggesting. So then that is why he is giving easier and easier and easier marks, the methods and then the paths. It is the other way around, is one strong interpretation. The other interpretation is that no, ये ज्ञाना ये कर्मा ये सब करने की जरूरत नहीं है. I know you just give it up everything to the Lord. Then what happens is, in fact, that has happened also, and that is a criticism about Indians and Hindus, that we are very fatalistic, and then we just very very destiny oriented people. We are not achievers. We leave everything to the God. All that. That is also, that apapradha is also always there upon us also. So we are very fatalistic, and then just to give it up. Everything is predetermined, and everybody is a Vedanti, a philosophical kind of a outro. Even laziest people also, who cannot go through the effort, who cannot put that effort of achieving and then the sadhana, also tend to be talking philosophy that ये सब करने की जरूरत नहीं है, because of Bhagavan in Bhagavad-Gita has said, even if it patram pushpam phalam toyam, whatever, just namaskar karo, mayaji mad bhakta. So all that he said, mam namaskuru, he said, if you cannot do anything, just by giving namaskar also. And similarly, Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga and Bhakti Yoga, and these debates are going on for thousands of years. Ever since Bhagavad Gita has come into work, these discussions, deliberations, interpretations have been going. While that being so, how we can understand practically is to get the Samyak Jnana and then understand the thing in the right perspective from the right interpretations and then from the right gurus and right books. That is extremely important. So he is saying Jnana, Abhyasa, Dhyana and Karma Phala Tyaga, and that leads to Shanti. Another way of looking at it is, once you are at the peace of mind, then you can discriminate what to keep and what to give up. That is Karma Phala Tyaga. It's not Karma Tyaga. Karma Tyaga is only for sannyasis and then who have given up everything, But Karma Phala Tyaga, so that we have discussed, Jasab and Madam and others have explained that Karma Phala Tyaga. And from there is Dhyana. The Dhyana is the Yoga Dhyana, not the just English equivalent of the meditation like Bhattacharya is saying. Correct. And then Abhyasa, and then Jnana. So doing the reverse way, you can acquire Jnana. And Jnana Deva Hi Kaivalyam, Jnana Deva Tu Kaivalyam, like that it is there in the Advaita way of understanding is. Only Jnana, once you get the Samyak Jnana, you tend to be liberated. That's how the two strong interpretations and bhashyas I have come across, which I thought I'll share. Having said that, another important aspect is the Adveshta Sarvabhutanam. What a fantastic way to start with the Adveshta. He could have started Maitra or Karuna, but why did he start with Adveshta was a very interesting thing, because if we observe the world, currently all kinds of misunderstandings and the fightings and then all this bigotry and hatred is all because of this hatred, is because of the Dvesha Bhava. The Dvesha Bhava is emanating from, since they have already explained the purport, I am just jumping the gun and straight away going into the Nirmamo Nirahankara. Mama is the me, and then the Ahankara is me, and then Mamakara. The other thing is the mine. This me and then the mine are the most important things. And once this me kind of a thinking is there, you will alienate a lot of friends. All people will become enemy, because you are always thinking about your selfish, deeds and needs and wants. So people will definitely tend to avoid you, and then then you will no longer be a friend. Once you are so much egoistic and then selfish oriented, naturally you will invite a lot of enemies, and then the dvesha. That's why it is Maitri is there when you reduce the me. That is ahankara. That is me, and the mine is apna. अपना कब बोलते हैं कि it is always everything is mamakara. It is about mine. ये मेरा है, मेरा है, मेरा है. एक्चुअली नंबर 13 है, लेकिन सब लोग मेरा है करके उलझे हुए हैं about me and then mine. That is why I think maybe it is given in the slok 13. So we have to think about the others. That's when we invite friends, and then when do you when you give up mine, this mamakara, then you will expand your likelihood to the others, and then karuna, that is the compassion, will come. So the karuna also, there are two things which we can. One is the human way of karuna. The other one is the divine karuna. Divine karuna is the karuna sagara. We say that, it is like an ocean and then endless. When we talk about Bhagavan ka karuna, because for him all are equal, there is equanimity. Samadukha, sukha. So that also comes. And like I said, in a lighter vein the other day, tension gheunaka, tension deunaka. That's what they say in Bombay. So when you say here, he is saying that, here also, neither you don't get udvignamana, don't get stressed unnecessarily. Stress can be caused through two things again, even in psychology management or even in sociology. That one is the external factors, triggers, and the other are, stimuli. The other one is from the internal factors. When sab kuch sahi hai, to bhi, nobody can stop you getting stressed about you creating illusory tensions within our mind. Most of the stress is caused because what we caused to. And that's what it is said, that nobody can hurt you without your consent. Nobody can hurt you without your consent. अगर कोई मेरे को बंदर कहे या सुअर कहे, मैं अगर रेस्पॉन्ड करूं तो इसका मतलब यह है कि मेरा मन में भी डाउट है, एंड आई विल हैव टू गो एंड लुक एट माई सेल्फ इन द मिरर. Once I do not have any doubt about myself, अगर कोई मेरे को कुछ भी गाली दे या बंदर कहे तो भी मेरे को फुल मालूम है कि मैं बंदर नहीं हूँ. मेरे अंदर क्या है मुझे मालूम है, बाहर क्या है मुझे मालूम है, मैं बंदर बिल्कुल नहीं हूँ. तो फिर मैं why should I respond or react and then hate? So that is why it is internal also, the stress. These are the things. And another thing is, while studying this in the Sankara Bhashya, in fact, they said that whatever we call it as a bhakti yoga is actually part of the karma yoga only. It is an action. When he says mayarpita manobuddhi, when he is saying sarva karma phalatyagam madarpanam, when he says in 9/27, he said yatkaroshi yadannashi yajjuhoshi dadasiyat yat tapasyasi madarpanam. That's what he said. So he very clearly said, and many times we also said that karma karomi tattad akilam sambo tavaratham. That what also we have shared. So that is the at a mental level and an intellectual level, mind level, buddhi level, dhrudha nishchaya karke, what to give up and what to attach, what not to attach needs to be understood. And it is said that lokesmin dvivida nishta va prokta mayanagha jnana yogena sankhyanam karma yogena yoginam. That's what he said. He talked about jnana yoga and then karma yoga. He didn't talk about bhakti yoga, because bhakti yoga is a subset of the karma yoga, because ultimately what is devotion? Devotion is an act. It's an emotion and it's an act. It is an expression through either mind and then the body. And hence it is an action. And hence that action also completely and daily and then always, when it is directed towards, when it is surrendered in Ishvara Pranidhana, and that leads to Shanti and then Saukya, that is happiness. Happiness also is talked about. About Santushta Satatam Yogi, he talked about. What is Santushta? Santosha is one is a general happiness, whatever we get from the material encomiums, and then whatever objects that we have, which will please you the sensory pleasures. The other Santosha is the yogic Santosha, because in Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga of Patanjali, is talked about Yama Niyama. Within Yama, there are 5 things, like we have Sauchamu, Tapasu, what are the other things, which is a Satvika Bhavana, Saucha, Santosha, Tapasu, Swadhyaya, and Ishvara Pranidhana. These 5 will constitute the Yama, which is the part of the Ashtanga Yoga. So Santosha, that is extremely important also. Next only to the cleanliness is godliness, Saucha, and next is the Santosha, which is the ever happy, because we are always happy people. And that happiness is a choice and then in an internal mechanism. It may need not be necessarily coming from the external objects which are pleasing to the senses. The final one he talked about Tyaga. Of course, Madam and Sir have already spoken about Tyaga. Here is, of course, the Tena Tiktena Bunjita, and then some of these quotations are always there. Nakarmanana Praja Dhanena Tyagaine Kena Murtatvamana. So that's how we become immortal and then happy. The sure way of happiness is Tyagaine Kena. And what to give up, at what particular ashrama, what to give up, and at what pursuit of your higher learning and enlightened living, what to give up. So karma phalatyaga, and that leads to that. So these are the things which come to our mind in right understanding and for a practical understanding of these for 10 slokas. And there are several anecdotes from Mahabhagavata and examples have been already, like a Jadabharata, and then, was a great example given. So, but the time will not be there to share all those anecdotes. So I thought this is how I think we need to, not in terms of a hierarchy of the needs as it is explained, but as ये नहीं कर सकते तो ये नहीं करो, and easier and then easier parts have been shown at a differently abled sadhakas, differently abled at different stages and the level of enlightenment and level of practice and level of Shakti and then Yukti, or the human beings to cater to. That is the beauty of Sanatan Dharma, unlike the my way or the highway and then the only way kind of a thing which we discussed earlier. I think in that process we should understand perfectly and then follow and then get happiness as well as enlightenment. Thank you.
जी
Taken that honor of being a monkey.
जी दरबार साहब.
Okay, quickly for the sake of to make it easier for the audience in English, the purport of all the 5-10 slokas. He is talking about there are 10 good qualities which one has to inculcate, not only inculcate but make it our own nature, and it should become a part of our nature as a beyond the habit. So that's what I think Bhagavan seems to be saying. I quickly list them out within the 1 minute. Free from malice towards all living beings, friendly and compassionate, free from attachment to position and egotism, equipoised in happiness and distress, ever forgiving, ever contented, steadily united with the God in devotion, self-controlled, firm in conviction, dedicated to God in mind and intellect. Those who have these 10 qualities are dear to me. That's what Bhagavan has reinforced and given the guarantee as well as the abhaya and then the, what shall I say, his word. So I think it becomes easy for understanding of the public in English, I thought. Thank you.
ठीक बात है. तो आपने सुना, ये हैं हमारे साथ प्रोफेसर श्रीमान रामनाथ जी झा, हर ग्रेस स्वामिनी सद्विद्यानंद जी सरस्वती, श्रीमान विठल जी नाडकर्णी, प्रोफेसर श्रीमान अनिल जी भाटे, प्रोफेसर श्रीमान श्रीराम जी दरबा. आपका बहुत बहुत आभार सबका, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. नमस्कार. तो ये था आज का हमारा प्रोग्राम.